Welcome to another Finance Magnates executive interview. Today I'm here with Jeff Patterson, Head of Education at Finance Magnates Academy. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk about a project that we launched earlier this year and is already in the making. And we want to introduce it and say more about the project and what it is and how people benefit from it. So before we get into the details, people in the industry know Finance Magnates as an event organizer, an online news platform, data intelligence data. But now we've launched Finance Magnates Academy. So can you tell me more about the project and what we're doing?
Absolutely, and this is something that's clearly near and dear to my heart, and this is something that we see a lot of value in moving forward, not just for the industry itself, but for a lot of young professionals entering and everyone else in between. This is an initiative that we focused on that will help with onboarding and training and overall education that I think will really help empower a lot of people as they either look to transition in this industry or move ahead.
All right. So someone who hears Finance Magnates Academy and the sign up, what should they expect after the sign up?
Well, we designed a portal that I think is very user-friendly and one that's sort of commensurate with what a lot of people these days are expecting. No one wants to show up to a website and really have to fumble their way around. This is something that it's very engaging and something that's designed for people to really know their way around and see what's on offer. On offer being our courses. We have a variety of different courses on offer, a whole suite of CPD credits. And I think as people become more familiar with this platform, they'll see the amount of resources at our disposal, or rather theirs. And I think it's something that's going to be very beneficial for all visitors.
So are we talking about just theoretical learning, or practical learning? And how can people apply the learning that they get from FM Academy in their career in the fintech industry and finance industry?
Well, it's a good question. And I think that these days it's hard to shoehorn yourself into just one or the other. If you were to just focus strictly on theoretical learning, you're now competing with LLMs and all the litany of free information out there. So what we've designed and curated is a group of courses that provide more actionable insights, things that can give you that edge in the workplace, conveyed from experts themselves who are on the front lines and who are actually out there every day doing the job. And that's where we really see the value in this and what makes this offering truly diverse, because people, they don't want to just read textbooks these days. They want to hear from the people who know what they're doing, and they want to know how to be in that position and how to grow, and that starts with structured learning.
Yeah. So talking about our target audience, who is our target audience? Let's say people who want to enter the fintech industry, they have no knowledge about the financial services world, and students who want to study something related, or they're graduating and they want to enter the industry. How are we helping them through the academy?
So fintech, as you know, is very multidisciplinary. There is no real degree that fleshes out the nuances of this industry. So to that point, we wanted to kind of have a catch-all sort of suite of courses, something that can really cater to a lot of different interests, backgrounds, and whatnot. Ultimately, everyone learns at their own pace, and I think this is something that we wanted to provide as a sort of an add-on to existing educational programs out there. So this is obviously something that is very informative for anyone from a university student up to a young professional who's already out there working. Maybe they might be in marketing or some other sales role, perhaps someone that wants to transition into this field. Ultimately, this field is not gate-kept, but that's not to say it's not without its own nuances. And I think understanding those sort of, we'll just say uniqueness to it, I think that's what's going to help a lot of people sort of transition in here, sort of set them up for the next step and to ultimately be more successful.
And how about people who are already in the industry? They're already working for a Forex broker, let's say. How does our academy help them?
So it is interesting because you mentioned that there already people are in the industry. So how does this really impact them? The reality is a lot of people work in this industry without really understanding it. You could work here for 5 years and really not really have the true grasp of what a brokerage model is, market depth or anything else. And I think that these are sort of things that could potentially be lost on a lot of newer applicants or just people who are starting off in their roles, which is not to say that that's the wrong way of doing things. They have their own sort of needs and expectations, but having that sort of background that they can kind of tap into that gives them more of a context, I think that's something that is very valuable, and it's going to be something that will help them grow and ultimately become promoted and have more opportunity.
So when someone comes, they sign up, they do the courses, they are eligible to earn a certificate.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about the certificates of the Academy?
Absolutely. So, this is not just another certificate that you see stamped on LinkedIn. There are several of those. This actually carries weight. It carries the Finance Magnates stamp of approval, as it were. As a trusted brand authority in the industry, a lot of people, they know what Finance Magnates is, and they know what the level of professionalism is behind it. And this is a course that, for example, it's not just done in a haphazard way. We've brought in a lot of expert speakers, guests, true experts that I think can really lend their expertise and weight to these sort of programs that can really give you a sort of, how do I say, just a very well-rounded perspective, something that you're not going to get truly anywhere else.
So by having a certificate by our academy, people can actually use it during their application process to work at a broker or within the industry. That's correct, right?
Absolutely. These will be instrumental in helping you maybe secure that promotion, maybe get that interview that you wanted. This is what's going to get you in the door.
Yeah. So we've been talking about individuals. Now let's go into how companies can benefit from the academy in terms of training their internal employees or new employees.
Yeah, and I think that's another interesting point that you make because, this is a known issue. This is not something that required a lot of sleuthing. This is something that everyone deals with. Everyone has this issue of bringing people in, training, onboarding. This takes time. Time is money. So this, without getting in too much into the specifics of return on investment, this is something that everyone can benefit from because whether you are the junior hire or you have your whole hiring class or even the intermediate hire, there's always a learning curve with any role.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time for your team to bring new individuals up to speed. And if there's a way that you have a portal, or rather if there's a portal that can help handle this, the handover process, can help smooth out that process overall, that's going to save a lot of time. It's going to save a lot of headache. It's going to save a lot of stress. It's going to let your team focus on the tasks that they need to, rather than focus on just training a lot of people, which really no one really wants to do.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of relate because I used to work in the FX industry, and we had a lot of issues with onboarding employees from unrelated industries, and it was very difficult to train them on how these companies function and what's the phase of all these companies. So with such an academy for HR departments and recruitment agencies is very, very useful in terms of...
I can tell you that problem is not going away anytime soon. If anything, it's even increased as you have more people now transitioning from careers and different roles in industries.
So we are at the beginning of the FM Academy. We launched it earlier this year. We're already onboarding companies. We're already developing new courses. What are we expecting in the next 12 months?
So first and foremost, I would say the word that comes to mind is simply just more courses, more experts, more latitude that covers a variety of this industry. The initial course structure that we had was obviously based a lot around our CPD credits and as well as our foundations bundle that talks about sort of the level 1 baseline assessment of what this industry is. Something that can, cater to really any organization, especially for the new hiring classes and anything else. We're going to be delving a lot more into more nuanced topics, a lot more of the, a more well-rounded offering, be it for university students all the way up to CEO level. So,
is there any way that we could expect any kind of workshops, local workshops, offline workshops, not just online?
Absolutely. Okay. So we've explored more avenues for that, hosting these types of workshops at our events in conjunction with them. And I think that there's a variety of different possibilities. I think for people that frequent these sort of events and are typically on site for these types of for these sort of organizations, I think they're going to be very pleasantly surprised, and they're going to find that these sort of events are more, or rather these workshops are more accessible and immersive than ever before.
Yeah. So to end up the interview, why would people choose Finance Magnates Academy?
Well, that's a real question, isn't it? So I think that we truly bring something unique to the table, which is an expert perspective. You know, we have a lot of years experience on the front line. We have that corridor perspective. We have that unique sort of angle that most other companies or individuals never have access to. You know, as event organizers, as people who work with these institutions, these companies every single day, we have this sort of privileged perspective, which has come from time and to no small effort, that can give us sort of that vantage point that no one else truly has. And I think by being able to articulate and transmit that perspective to learners, that's something that you truly don't have right now, and it's something that there really is no substitute for.
Great. Thank you very much, Jeff, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, you too.